Mateo, I have a question for you.
Go.
How much pain are you willing to smilingly, is that word smilingly, endure, knowing that you are hit your goal? How much pain are you smilingly willing to endure? So you smiling now.
Exactly, man. That's because I'm a massive fan of the Joker for that exact reason. Pretty much all the pain, man. The pain to the point that it could even be you don't even know who you are, or you're challenged about what makes sense, because everything is just you can't see through it almost. But for me, like, it's a thing about, and that's why I take the smiling thing, because I want to smile at the adversity. I want to smile as a challenge to them that you're hitting me, but believe me, no, I can do this forever. That's how far I want to go.
Wow, dude, that's impressive. That's sick, man. I think it's very important in a person's life. If they want to grow, they cannot grow without facing pain.
I think there's this, a lot of people have a misunderstanding, or I even had it growing up, where I was afraid of pain, or you want to avoid pain, you want to minimize pain as much as possible. But I feel like that's such a small-minded attitude, right? Grant Cardone talks about this, or Tony Robbins. Whereas the attitude should have been, it's not something you run away from, but rather, it's like you kind of like, you're ready for it, you welcome it in the sense that, like, it's just basically not being afraid of the pain. It's like understanding what pain is, controlling that understanding, and then when you experience it, it's like it's not as bad as anymore, because it's all a mind game in my opinion. I mean, a lot of it is physical, yes, but the psychological just denotations of pain is something that can definitely be turned to your favor, and then you can just master that.
What is pain? So I guess let's rewind a little bit. Talk about how we're wired, for that matter. I think, and evolutionary scientists think the same, that our brain rather, is a 2,000-year-old operating system.
Yep.
So these days we don't have like saber-toothed tigers, or we don't have like elephants running after us in the cities, obviously.
Sure.
So I guess the brain hasn't changed that much. So back in the day, we were faced with that adversity.
Yeah.
Saber-toothed tiger.
It's lethal, right? Life or lethality.
Yeah, life or death. And now that life or death is translated into other menial things.
Yep.
Work-related tasks, whether it is, I don't know, people going through divorce,
an exam,
or
whatever.
breakups, and there's many emotions that are attached to that as well. So a few examples of pain, obviously you've got grief, you've got breakup, you feel a sense of loss, sadness. All that is matter of fact pain.
Yeah.
Again, jealousy, that's sort of a pain. Anger, a big one.
Definitely,
That's because you're sort of hurting inside, or you feel a sense of loss. I guess that's one key indicator of what pain is, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now that we've evolved into this amazing modern society,
Yep.
but our brain still functions the same way.
Yeah.
It hasn't evolved in that way. So I guess a lot of people are in pain because they're not taking deliberate action to get out of it.
Yep. That's one thing. And so like, I get where you're coming from, and I'm saying, like, where I'm coming from is like just the person's understanding of what pain is. And so the way I'd even define it is, I'd say pain to me is a teacher. That's what I'd say. And
I'll give you an example, right? So I had two painful events last year, right? I had a major breakup, and I went through loss of a family member who was dear to me.
Yes.
both those experiences, although they were extremely painful, but you might think that they're different in a sense that you feel different emotions. But I took a lot of time reflecting on it. When I look back at it, I realized that the underlying emotion is pain.
Yeah.
Right? For both of them, either whether it's grief, where you've lost someone, again, sense of loss.
Yeah.
Again, breakups the same as well. So it's you lose someone that you've been with for so long, and that's pretty painful. I guess the next thing that I want to talk about is when you feel this pain. What do you do?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Could either feel hurt and throw a pity party, sort of a thing, or you could do something about it.
Yeah.
Use that as a drive.
I agree. Yeah, it could be definitely motivation, and kind of to make you reflect on how to manage it. Another thing, though, another reason why I'm all about the welcoming of said pain and not running away from it. When you actually absorb it and kind of take it full force. With me, the way I've learned and I've grown in my life is your pain tolerance actually increase. So the immediate impact of said pain just diminishes as I go through, which is great because that's you dealing with it in one sense. And as you're saying, so if you're to manage the pain, that's also really important, right? It's really being able to just like kind of pull it out and then chuck it a bit, And people are afraid because I think, let's say with grief or loss, right? You feel that the pain is the only sensation or emotion that you can feel in the connection to the whatever caused it. But I think what people don't understand is, I feel like pain is just like a part of I wouldn't say cyclical, but part of the process. So you start with pain and then kind of like that moves into a different emotion and moves to a different level. And so it's like, you can't just stay in one spot kind of situation. It has to evolve.
So I guess it goes from being pain at that moment to growth.
Yes, that's so again, see, pain is a teacher, growth, exactly.
Right? So essentially, on the other side of pain, there's growth.
100%.
It's like a coin.
Yeah, man, because
it's heads and tails.
Yeah, and I feel like, as I said, because pain, how do you derive pain? It's through certain experiences, right? I feel that, and Wolverine says this, it's the idea that, say, break your bones, like, thrown off, getting shot, whatever, like in his universe, that is all evidence, like the sensation of pain is all evidence that you're living, like you're actually having an active life. You're not in a bubble, closed off, safe. It's safe from the world, but like you need to get the cuts and bruises on the pavement. You gotta twist your ankle on the court because it's that, dude. Get in the game. See, it's really welcoming that possibility because it brings growth.
Right. Unless, of course, if you're hit by a bullet, that in that instance, pain is not equal to growth.
True. No, but fuck, what I do, I'd rip the bullet out and start chewing it, man. Bite the bullet, help me up, chew the damn thing.
My God, that's. I guess I'm laughing because I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah.
Because I'm laughing because how true the underlying emotion behind the whole thing that you just said is. It's not like a crybaby kind of a attitude.
Yeah.
It's like, bring it on.
Yes.
I can take care of it.
That's it.
Step aside. I got this. It's almost conveying some leadership, even. And
also another thing there. It's not as if like I'm saying, oh, I'm invincible.
Yeah.
What I love about just understanding how the dynamic of pain and like when you experience it is you regenerate. So you'll deplete, you'll get damaged, but then it's that understanding in yourself that I'm going to regenerate and let me just like heal up, and then boom, and then like I'm back. But then pain's like, wait, I shot you, and like, see, yeah, you did. Here's the bullet, throw it back at him, kind of thing. So it's that.
I'll go a little deeper as always.
That's good, man.
Say, when you work very, very hard to achieve something, you've gone through a lot.
Yep.
A lot. This is going to be a curveball.
Yeah.
because we didn't discuss this before. So you've worked your ass off for years to achieve this goal. Now that you're this close to it, you know, I think the last moments are the most painful ones.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
I'll give you my marathon reference as well. Because when I was doing the half marathon, it was that 18, 19 kilometer
part when you hit that
bar. Man, that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
After you've crossed it, the 20 and the 21,
easy.
It's easy.
Okay.
I was sprinting in my last K. I was sprinting, bro.
That's amazing.
It was sick. I saw, you know, the crowd was there.
Yeah.
I could see the finish line. But what do you do in that scenario? Because the pain is so overwhelming.
Oh my goodness, which is why I love, dude, that brings me all the way back to year 8. Had this amazing amazing basketball coach, and he had this amazing basketball team, and just the philosophy that he was grinding into us. He said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Fourth quarter in the basketball game. And I think that time, that process of doing the basketball and the physical pain of like that process, it built in. For me, so your question is, what do you do, right? For us, like, man, you've been conditioned to like relish in that, and you're like, you know, it's the last few steps that are the hardest. And here's another thing, dude. Like, so yes, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's also, with me, it's we'll rest once you get to the finish line. So get to the damn finish line, and then you can rest. That's an interesting like lesson on hustle as well. Like, you know, go hard, get there, and then you can rest. You know, don't rest in between. Like, you burst and rest, but no, go hard, finish it, and then you can rest.
I even feel, take it another level. I mean, the most painful times are again when you stop and start again. I think that transition, even in a marathon, right? Even in from my personal experience, I think they are the most painful moments. I'll tell you why. In a marathon, you know, when you're at that 17, 18 kilometer line mark, you don't feel like, you know, you're tired and you stop for a second. You know, you have water or whatever. You know, you see a stall, you stop there. And then when you start again, it's so much harder.
That's
because you've stopped.
That's the momentum. I agree. Dude, imagine running like, I don't know how many kilometers, but like in terms of speed, like say sprint speed around a basketball court for 40 minutes. That does things to your mind. So already the pain of getting tired, but imagine the same thing. And so if you stop for like just a second, you would actually go insane. And so that's the momentum of, and because you're in the zone, dude.
Yeah.
It's the flow, the deep work of that.
Yeah. Same thing applied to degrees. Now I'm on the 17, 18 sort of
point of the
of my degree. I'm about to finish my master's. End of June maybe. And see, this is that time, dude. If I stop now,
and also even that, like, see, that brings me to like, imagine all the progress you made beforehand. Like, that's also, I mean, not resting on your laurels, but like just measuring. It's a metric, right? That you've gotten this far. I'm trying to say that.
And sometimes the pain is so overwhelming that you're willing to give this all away.
Yeah, you get to that. I mean, you can definitely get to that point, you know. And
it's very painful, man. Sometimes that you don't want to do it.
Yes.
What do you do then? What do you do?
Yeah. So it's at that point where
when you think you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, like that's when you go out and get help, or when you talk to others, and it's the idea of kind of like putting your perspective back into place. So realigning. Yeah. Because a lot of people, and it's funny because like with me, I've seen how a lot of people are motivated by me. And they kind of see me as, you know, someone who is a bastion or whatever, like virtue ethos, and they'll be more than willing to like help you and put in the energy, because it's like it's a mutually benefiting thing, right? Because like they can bring you up, and then, you know, you bring them up just by your sheer willpower, and I think that's important.
That brings me to the next thing is the importance of having people that you can trust around you,
Yeah.
close
Absolutely,
to you.
Yeah.
That is extremely important
And
because
also, yeah.
sorry,
No,
it's so important because sometimes you can forget why you started.
Mhm.
You know, and what these amazing people do, whether it's your best friend, your parent, whether it is your mentor,
Mhm.
whoever it is, you know, that you trust and you really wanna, you're really emotionally connected to that person.
Oh.
When they remind you why you started in the first place,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
things start looking a little differently.
I just watched what's his name? Tom
Billu?
Billu. He interviews this guy who did the 50 Ironmans straight.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that. So, and I don't know, like this 23rd or something. He was cycling. He stopped and curled up into a ball on the side of the road and started crying. And the way he got back up on the bike was, he really just remembered what was the point of doing this. And another thing about reaching out to people is when you become accountable to them. And I was reading an article on this, like that accountability like breeds intimacy on a good way as motivation. So what the guy he was interviewing said was he was in, on the ground saying, but I told my daughters that I was gonna do 50, and if I don't, like, what is that? Like, shatter the paradigm, So he got that in his head, clicked. He got back on the bike and he did 26 Ironmans. Like,
that is incredible, man. That's dude, that achievement. Oh my goodness.
Built so the pain, right? But it's the accountability, And with me, like when I say that, you're gonna say, "Hey, bring it on" attitude. It's almost like I'm an anticipation of, kind of like that. I know that I'm gonna hit like those really high thresholds of pain. I'm stealing myself, I'm gonna go hardcore. Because with that momentum, I'm gonna face the hard pain as well, like straight on, kind of level off on their level of energy, and we'll see which of the two of us are standing in round 12. Let's see.
Because that's the intensity I'm talking about, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very easy to start with that intensity.
Yes.
Again, I'm coming back to the same thing that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. It's that crunch time, like that's when a person's character really shines.
I agree.
And then that's when the intentions of the people around you shine as well. See the people who are actually people who actually matter versus people
and the good people like who have really good intentions for you. I'll give you an example really quickly. Grinding out for a final, one of my units, and I was freaking out. Like I literally thought I was gonna fail that unit. So going hard with my whiteboard, boom, 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 boom. So I finish it. My whiteboard's full, equations, everything. Go to the exam, do it, and I'm like, okay, I think I actually failed the unit. Like, I think this is it, first unit. I get back. I didn't fail the unit, right? I got back home, and in the middle of the whiteboard was a message from one of my friends, and he wrote something like, "You got this," or like "much love," and it was in the middle of all my equations, and I feel that's so metaphorical of like, because that's what it's about, It's like recentering to the core.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck, I love this guy.
I had a very interesting thought in the shower this morning.
Okay.
I don't know whether it came to me from something that I'd read before, or it just came to me.
Yeah.
The thought was so powerful, and I just want to share it.
Yeah, please.
It's about being a role model.
Yep.
It's about setting a standard for yourself. And the thought was, starting today, I would not do anything. Okay, this is a hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
I would not do anything that I wouldn't want my future unborn child to see.
Amazing. It's a good challenge. Again, accountability goes back to that.
Yeah. And it's such a powerful thought.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, just not indulging or eliminating the excess. It comes down to that again, and it's such a powerful. I never felt that emotion before until today.
Yeah.
Just not getting involved
Yeah.
in any activity
Yeah.
that my future unborn child would look at me and say,
What the F? Or even like,
why are you doing that?
Yeah, and even more, like, you wouldn't want them to be doing it as well. So, which is, what I love about pain is it will really distinctly draw the lines of your standards, and then it will draw how strong your standards are as a challenge to it, right? Adversity creates growth, creates adaptability, creates mastery, right? I mean, it's that whole thing, like, this is war, gentlemen. You know, like, I'm seriously saying that because when you understand pain, you understand, like, the weight of every day, every minute, every hour, every decision you make. Like, it's, if you're, you know, trying to connect the whole life or death mentality, it's bringing that in. So
again, whether it is taking a cold shower in the morning, purposely inflicting that little bit of pain, that little bit of pain, the mental edge it gives you to deal with shit throughout the day,
Exactly.
it's incredible.
Which brings me to that, dude. Like, another reason, like, I think a solution to the pain thing, when, you know, at least with how I've gone through it, and I've, you know, like, been open to it, to experience it, whatever, is you can get used to pain. It becomes almost trivial, it becomes routine. You get to grow in it, through it, to the point, as I said, your tolerance goes up. But also, what was I gonna say? Yeah, man, it's the idea that because you can get used to it, you can just adapt, dude, and it becomes trivial.
How important is conditioning?
That's the word I'm looking for. Conditioning, dude. Every single thing. Again, see, why is it war? You gotta condition yourself, you know, to beat pain. You gotta, and that's what I'm saying. When you're at the crunch, dude, imagine being conditioned in a crunch-like environment, and you just keep doing that, so that when the crunch comes, it's so easy to. That's mastery, dude, because you have to be in a really hard. I said this in an earlier video. I want to be at square one in a new environment, because I'm always like, oh, so what do I do? And you gotta adapt, you gotta think, you gotta push.
It's almost stoic.
Yeah, stoicism.
Yeah, it's almost that. Let's not dabble into that too much today, but
we'll get into that later on.
We talked about conditioning.
Yes.
See again, what is fitness?
Yeah.
Fitness is improving.
Yeah.
Fitness is a mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
It's conditioning.
Yes.
The more you condition, I can tell you from experience, you know, when I was training, say 2 years ago, I was doing 40 push-ups at once, no problem, right? Proper form, everything, easy. Then I stopped. 6 months later, I'm struggling to do 20.
Yeah.
That is what conditioning is.
Yes. The reverse.
It won't add direct, instant benefits, but if you stop it, you can see the downward curve straight away.
I agree, and then you can flip the argument and say what I love about, because I've been in the athletic game, fitness game for 7 years, 8 years, seriously, and in and out of it. I love being able to kind of measure, and because I guess you have to understand the process of conditioning, because there's no instant gratification, because it's a very patient process of consistency and discipline. I just love going through that, because it's the same way of how you're going to deal with pain, right? Because conditioning, when you do it right and you do it consistently, there are metrics of progress. Say with weights, like that's a visual metric, or say cardio, you know, how far you can run, or say boxing, right? How many rounds can you do and it's slowly just building that up. And again, this goes back to like progress, right? If you stop, how quickly everything you've just done for like say 3 months is going to be erased.
So I guess to sum up the episode, a couple of things. Firstly, pain equals growth.
Yeah, 100%.
Do not be afraid of pain.
Yeah.
Because that's what, the more challenged you are,
that's it,
the more you'll grow as a person.
Yeah.
And to survive in this world, that's what you need.
Yeah.
It's about
conditioning through pain.
Yeah, that's it.
And really quickly, I was gonna say. So,
and the second thing I want to talk about again, summing up the whole episode, is how important it is to have people around you
Oh yeah, that's big.
when you are in pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you feel, which may not be the reality, when you feel the waters come up like that high,
Yeah.
they'll be like, remember, this is why you started.
Or let me
You
up,
can
yeah,
do it.
Yeah, let me
And-
ease you.
yeah. And that,
Mm.
the third thing is that in a 21-kilometer race,
Mm.
the 17 and 18
Those are the hardest.
hardest bits,
Yeah, I agree.
because the finish line's just that close,
Yeah.
at the same time it's just that far.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and even that, dude. Like it's a 1 inch away, 1 mile away. Like again, life or death, right? It's that whole thing. Like it's there, but it isn't yet. And that's surmounting the crunch, right? Because you got to condition for that, and it's seeing what's at stake. I also just want to say, last thing is, the thing with pain, this means you're still alive, dude. You're still beating.
That's it, man. On that note, thanks, guys. Cheers.